Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United.
Remember the comment he made?
I got some bars to these.
Run Ryan.
Ryan.
And here's the thing, you have players out there.
I think the fellas will take it more serious.
No way. What grade?
That one had to go.
Yes, because at the end of the day, right now, Manchester United are
Welcome fellas. Good night everyone and welcome again to All In, All United. Phil, Simeon, JP still on his and Benedict's hype. Go through. Right? And earlier we a day late on the podcast. You know, it is be good sometimes when you could pause now, you know, gather your thoughts and then come again. Just to avoid the head loss moments now, you know, because you see this Manchester United team, it could really bring the best and the worst out of you. You know what I'm saying? I thought the first half, you know, was up there with some of our better performances this season. But in direct contrast, the second half had been the worst since Amorim here. And as per this group of players, there's always mistakes, lack of concentration, and then men losing the plot and reverting. And on top of that, right, we have men coming off the bench. And it's better than fellas didn't even come off the bus. Right? To say yesterday was a huge disappointment is an understatement. Ole Amorim work cut out. A team full of players that's struggling to execute simple instructions versus Nottingham Forest earlier. Phil, what are you saying, buddy? I think you muted Phil. Nah.
No.
All right. So while Phil sort out, he Mike, JP, what you saying, buddy?
I kind of glad that we're really doing it today because I think I would have rant yesterday. The kind of rant and I might have do. It would not be a good look for me if I had ran the way I was feeling yesterday. So, you know, having a day pass, and, you know, we have some new developments in the club as well. Now we get some news this morning. So I think it's fitting that we have in the pod today to touch on that as well. But as you say, the first half performance for me was especially responding after going down so early. It was good to see how the players responded and how we control the game. And then the second half, it shows that two things. We have a lot to unlearn. A lot of the players have a lot to unlearn from previous regimes. I don't think it's just the Ten Hag regime. Or they're just not good enough for Manchester United and we have to get rid of them. I think that is what is being shown up here. And to me, it's good that Amorim getting to see it early. I feel for him as a manager, as the head coach, having to come at the time he had to come in and deal with what he has to deal with. I think that's why he would have preferred end of the season where he could have probably get more time to really look at the players even more, say who he want, who he don't want, to make the changes that he want to make for the summer. So it's a real difficult time when he came in, but at the same time, he really getting to see what his players made of or what some of them not made of.
Yeah. Phil,
Let's
you
hear me
excited?
now.
Yeah, man. Nice. Go through Phil.
Perfect. Yeah. Good night to one and all. Boy, back to back, boy. The dating and the marriage and the honeymoon phase Well, sorry, the dating and the honeymoon phase is over. Now you are a married man and you now have to go through life with a bunch of, let's call them, I can't even call them players, guys. I gotta call them criminals because they're stealing our time, they're stealing our mental health, and they're a bunch of criminals. At the end of the day, as Reem said, and we've said many times on this podcast, these guys, I mean, Ruben Amorim has his work cut out for him. Um, I give it a next season where Ruben Amorim will probably have he'll be probably supporting the same haircut as me and Simeon right now. Give it another year or so, right? Um, Something that JP mentioned with regards to you're kind of glad that you had a day to cool down, and you're right because it was an absolute shit show yesterday, right? I could not believe what I saw. There's some players that are not technically gifted for this club. I can tell that there's some players that will not be listening to Ruben Amorim, and the onus is on you, Ruben Amorim, to do one of two things: keep on playing them, and you'll see that they'll turn on you because you said in your post-match interview that you still have belief in them. Fair enough. It's only been 4 or 5 games, or four training sessions. That's the first option. The second option is to put them on the bench and play and play players that will listen to you. Right? You have to be ruthless, and we'll talk more about that later on in the podcast. So.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Simeon, let me get you now, bro. What are you on?
Nah, I mean, I feel the same way today as I did yesterday. I mean, I wasn't vexed yesterday. Like people look at games and say, you know what, we can't lose this game or this game too. We at home. It's Forest. We were more than the loss of Cat. A key part of the club. You know, so we just did the opening ceremony. Everybody emotional. You figured it for us to go out there and play. And not even 2 minutes, we concede. You know, but I kind of I loved yesterday's game. A lot of people, come out dejected, but I loved yesterday's game. I look at Forest. Forest is a perfect team for us to play. Amorim to see what kind of players he have. It's not Arsenal, it's not City, but at the same time, it's not Southampton, it's not Leicester. It's a decent team, play decent football. You go there and play with them. And what Amorim saw in a game that we should be, bossing around and winning. He saw the aptitude of his team. He saw how the men can execute simple passes. The men can do simple finishes. The men can mark. We can mark a corner. He has to see this. Ain't no way we get the better of the man seeing with his own eyes, without the man feeling. He has, for me as a fan, he has to feel the pain I feel for the last. For us to move on, he have to see what we, feel the way we felt the last few years. You have to experience that to move on. You look at, he had to see Garnacho being subbed off and throwing a tantrum. He had to see Rashford, that man coming on, the subs coming on, and ain't doing nothing. He had to see that, wait now, I could pull every lever I have on this team and nothing will happen. You have to see that. So I think, yesterday had to happen. And I think what happened this morning, I don't know exactly why it happened, but I think stuff like that have to happen more. Like Phil said, we have to be more ruthless at the team. As one more thing, and I was like, working in business, when hierarchies change or you have a new boss come in, they're nice. Everybody laughing and smiling, the honeymoon going on nice. But when that period stop, and then man check the results and check, the stats. If you ain't doing well, you know what happening? You getting cut. So I think all the laughing, Ratcliffe was good at first, laughing and stuff. Amram was laughing, my players, we'll get better. Nah, that is only so long that can happen before men chose to get bust. So we go see.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. We're gonna get some comments here. We have normally when Chelsea men win the games and they come,
Hey, what's Chelsea now?
there's jumping, It's
And
okay.
then,
Yeah,
and then,
yeah.
watch them all day are seeing this all day.
So
All right.
welcome, Kerry. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining, man. Wherever. Right? It's actually on the inside. Good night, man. Thanks for joining. He's saying it's a physiological issue that we are a team of two halves. All right. Kerry also saying you'll have to unload some players. Yeah, yeah, of course you will. We to keep them, right? Um, yeah, guys, don't forget to like and share the pod. We want to get more people in on the content, right? Um, Alan on the inside, thanks for joining, man. Pray for the coach, he said. Um, Phil is right. Them fellas like Robin Hood stealing from the rich and giving to the poor.
Talk about that. Chelsea takes Sancho and give me who? Who they give me Mount and who else?
Don't who can play.
Yeah.
Chelsea man wicked boy. Nah. Chelsea Chelsea man wicked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So fellas, question, right? Why are we so in error prone? Like, I want to know why we so error prone. JP?
Wow, that's a great question. I would love to know because um I don't know if it's a lapse in concentration, if it is the players they don't know how to stay switched on properly. And with Onana, that one was just real reminiscent of his first season. When I saw that going, I was like, nah, no way, no way. Even if first goal he had that corner, that's literally what happened to us against Arsenal. Two goals, same thing. The first 2 minutes of the game, the error there for me would have been the organization in the defense. Who in the defense was organizing to say, Martinez, you can't be marking the tallest man here who is the main target. We probably had to put the list on this guy because
Sorry, sorry,
Martinez
sorry,
was
sorry, sorry to interrupt you, JB. I'll give it back to you just now, right? But
yeah,
I remember sending a couple of voice notes, not only just to Reed, but to other United fans when that goal scored, right? And I said, I'm a bit old school when it comes to football, where the tallest guy on the pitch, you mark the opposition player who is just the same height as you or taller than you, right? I
yeah,
kind of old school like that. So if the opposition has a defender that's 6'7" and you are looking to defend this corner, and your tallest player is like 6'5". I put my 6'5" onto the 6'7" player. I'm not gonna put my 5'6" to mark the 6'7" player. But that's just me old school. I could be wrong, I could be stupid, but I'll give it back to you, JP. So
so that and that's why I'm saying and to me that the coach doesn't have to tell the team this. These fellas playing football long enough, and you have somebody in there who will organize the defense on a corner, and they have to know, well, okay, Martinez can't mark this man, and who was the closest to Martinez? Was it Kobe? I think Kobe was the next one closer to Martinez. So these two players, which one of them was stopping the tallest player for on their team? None of them. Martinez didn't even jump with him. So the errors is something I think is again things that they need to unlearn in this team. And they have to learn a new way of thinking and organizing how they set up on the field, awareness being switched on at all times. Because if you want to take a club from where we are, I would say is basically mid-table to moving up to want to be elite, you have to be switched on for the full 90. Because in the Premier League, when you switch off, you see what happens. When you make errors, you see what happens. And all three of the goals, in my opinion, were down to things that we could have prevented were down to errors because even the header, I don't blame Euro for getting beat in the air by what is his name? Because he's very good in the air.
Wood.
Chris Wood
Wood,
from New Zealand, boy.
Chris Wood, Chris Wood, because he's very good in the air. But I blame Martinez for not being aware of where he is. The ball literally passed you, so and Martinez is one of the players that we used to talk about being the bright light in this team. And I find since he come back from the injury, he is not the same player as yet. And I really hope he can find back himself.
Yeah. Simeon, anything different from GP in terms of why this team so error prone? And then after the errors, it's almost as though we just capitulate into that football that we hate to see them fellas play. Go through.
I mean, it's just we talk about the fundamentals. Like we just not fundamentally sound to begin with. That's let's start right there. We can't play the simple balls, simple 1-2, simple 5-yard pass. We struggle with. So we can't do that, and you want us to break down a pack defense. Like we ain't built. If you look at the makeup of our team, how many leaders do we really have? And we've been getting better, but like Martinez, is one of our leaders, and he kind of switching off. We have Bruno who kind of doing his own thing sometimes. We just I don't know where our mentality is. I think we're a team that we're a big team, but we are a mid-table. We are a big club, but we're a mid-table team. Our mentality is wrong. I saw who was it talking about how we celebrate, corners, we celebrate near misses, we get pumped up with little things. Like our standards have dropped in this team. Like, yeah, a team like, Nottingham Forest who's fighting to get to the top. They're trying to get top 4, top 5. They're trying to get on top. And you have teams that like Arsenal who been trying for a long time to be the best, on capacity. And we kind of like just I don't know what we're trying for. We just we're slipping away, and we don't even know we're sinking, and we even know we're sinking yet. You look at these signings, like we get rid of Weghorst, we get rid of the Marshalls, we get rid of all these players who weren't good enough, and we ain't bringing anybody really to raise his standard. Kind of like bringing we have this attitude of having young players, but we want to be great. Like we haven't maintained the type of mentality that's good enough to compete for the top places in the league. And then you see it every day and every game on the field. Like other teams seem to be playing for more than we are playing for. We're ranked 16th in running in the league. I mean, we don't run, and the whole mental makeup is just, another part of it. It's like, it's just so hard. I mean, that mental part alone, is so hard to understand, why we don't have players who understand the fundamentals, the football, IQ. So when a coach come in, we don't have to teach those things, first before he teaches systems. So it just feels like everything we do is like labored, and it can't really get a good start off point for this team.
Phil. Anyway, before I go to Phil, let me just get some comments here, right? So Arun on the inside, thanks for joining, man. Good night to you. Shamar Strick on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying need to bring in a captain. All right, and I mean, Simeon just said, the team lacking leaders. All right, he said replace at least 4 men in the starting 11 Bruno, I guess, is the first one. All right. Davi on the inside, long time, buddy. Thanks for joining, man. He's saying Bruno not consistent enough, but sadly, he's our most creative player. That should speak volumes. Yeah, and how poor we are, right? The thing about it, Bruno could have a stinker and still come and score, you know, and that will just paper over, and people will think, well,
Yeah.
stats, you know, and truth be told, we need to do better than that.
You know, Davi. I mean, that's nail on the head right there. Like, if you look across our team, that's our team. You look at Dallo, for instance. Dallo looks like with the blind eye, he looks like a good player. You know, we clapped Dallo, but like Dallo, as far as effectiveness, especially in attacking third, like he had like a 0 of 9 cross, like his cross rate is like terrible. Like we have these players who like right there, and like because they do the basics, we think they're good, but they really ain't. JP was talked about all the players who we can rely on game to game. Mashwaris, the Ahmads, the he brought up Ugarte, who had a decent game. But apart from that, you don't have much. And even Ahmad, as good as Ahmad is, he has issues finishing. Ugarte, still has to do a better job, getting the ball from the back line. Mashwari, I kind of like Mashwari. He's looking pretty decent right now. But like even our good players have, issues, and then the key point I came away with yesterday was if I'm Amarim, I'm going to I don't know who you go to now, but since that flag got fired, I'm going to the board. I mean, like, hey, I don't know what you guys spend this money on, but it's not enough. You'll have to give me some good players because this man literally pulled all the levers yesterday, play all them players for the last few weeks, and then get nothing. And get no kind of type of consistent quality. A type of quality we lack. What was it coach he used yesterday? It's like, we play with heart, but not enough quality. And that's exactly, I mean, enough heart, I don't know. We want to. But quality, definitely not.
Yeah. I'm just getting some of the comments, right? But that was a good point to me. Kristen on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying all them goals we concede were errors. I find them fellas don't have the mental. Because every time we lose a game, the whole morale does drop for the next 3 to 4 games. All right. TL Andrew on the inside, thanks for joining, man. Good night. Arun saying here, so Harry have to play every game now, right? Because them fellas can't defend in the air or win the second ball. KL Andre saying here, been a while from yeah, man. Glad to have you back on, man. Saying to be honest, Bruno, he looks really decent in the deeper role, Well, I think anyway, we'll get to that, right? Mylon on the inside, thanks for joining, man. Good night to you. Right. So Phil, we have the manager talking about where we at. He's saying we are, and Simeon alluded to it, we are a big club, but we're not. I don't want to misquote him. I can't remember exactly what he had said, right? But he said we are a big club, but we're not a good team, right? What's your thoughts on that comment? And with that, right, I want to also include, right, if you think by now Ruben Amorim should, settle on his preferred 11, or your thought is let him rotate to the detriment of the league because he's trying to figure things out.
Boy, how to answer the big club question? We're a big club by name and big club by history, and that's the best answer I can give you. We haven't acted like we could. Have we acted like a big club? probably in the transfer market, spending X amount of dollars on these players just to flex our financial muscle. But in terms of a football team, in terms of a football family, nope. No, we're not. At the end of the day, there are individuals in this team in this club called Manchester United that they think they're bigger than the badge, right? And they either need to hold some bench or they either need to be shipped out of the club, right? Now, is there a starting 11 that Ruben Amorim needs to establish? Yes, obviously. Should he still be experimenting? Part of me wants to say yes, even though we have Manchester City next. But part of me is like, okay, by now you should at least have maybe 4 or 5 players, maybe 6 players that should be constantly starting. Let's say Onana, Delit, boy, Martinez. I ain't even sure what Martinez know, boy. But let's say this Onana, Delit, Ugarte, Menu, Ahmad. Maybe those 5 I think are the genuine starters for Manchester United. If you want to rotate Delo. If you want to rotate Bruno. I don't mind the rotation between Xerxes and Hoyland. I don't mind that.
You forget Masvari, no? You call Masvari?
Ooh, that name, boy, yeah. JP, I just so vexed yesterday that the man did not start Masvari, boy.
Yeah.
I just so vexed, JP. So let me start over. Like I said, there's 5 or 6 players. So Onana, Delit, Masrari, Kobe, Ugarte, and Ahmad. Those 6 players, I think, should be starting every Premier League game. If you want to talk about rotation, you can rotate one of 2 ways: in another competition, or maybe the front 3 or the front 4, whatever. Right? In terms of rotation, rotate Bruno, rotate Garnacho, rotate Hoyland, Xerxes, Rashford. I got questions over Martinez now, boy. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I got questions over Martinez, and this is one guy I found to be very solid in the first season he came here. Yeah, his second season wasn't he wasn't available due to injury, and now coming after the Copa America, now this guy just doesn't seem to be the same Martinez anymore, right? So it's a bit to answer your question with regards to rotation, it's a yes and a no for me, right? But still, I'm more leaning on there should be some sort of established set of players that, okay, these 5 or 6 players will be starting every single Premier League game, right? Because we're good at the back, but it's just from midfield forward, we just ain't taking no chances at all, boy. I did not celebrate any of the goals we scored yesterday, boy. I just did not. I was literally on my couch. You believe Nottingham Forest scored early twice in the first half and the second half. Wait till myself.
I had to admit, Phil, the first goal we scored was a proper build-up and goal. I mean, even though Garnacho should have done better, it was good that Hoyland was there to clean up. But I thought the entire build-up for our first goal, about 2 goals, I'm thinking, right? But the first goal in particular, I thought that was a well played goal. You know, we were based on our movement. When you consider how Bruno came short, he pulled a defender, and Ugarte made the run. It had a whole shift and a whole space open up there that Ugarte was able to run into. You know, and
Maureen, we on this podcast should come to there should be some time. There should come a time where all of us on this podcast come and say that's a regular thing. The fact that you have to point out just one thing out
but
of
the thing about
90 minutes,
and I agree.
That shows you how far they've
I
gone.
totally agree.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, Reem, but at the end of the day, these are football professionals.
Correct.
These are guys that we've seen under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, under Ten Hag, and no, right? And we all know what the common denominator is. We all know what the common denominator is, right? So,
But the point I'm making, Phil, just to touch on what you're saying there, I totally agree. But this is where this comment comes into place, and it's something that we have been saying forever. From how long? We know the team are good, So to say that this is where we want to be there, where we could be talking about, where we don't even have to talk about the quality of build up in some of the goals, but we know that the team don't have that. So right now that is. So when I see it, I had to notice it because nothing about our goal was hero ball. Nothing about our goal was a moment of individual brilliance that we have been dependent on for how long. It was a proper, patient build-up play that created an opening, and we scored. Right, and this is what we want to see more of, and this is why I was pleased with the first half, even though I was disappointed with how we conceded the goal to go behind so early. Right, but the team showed something that we were able to come back into the game. But then the second half happened, and it doing my head in because I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Or they're showing me that okay, or they probably could do it, but then they're showing me that there's a waste of time. And I am thinking that this is the conundrum that the manager in as well, and I mean, it's unfortunate how everything worked out, and we'll get to the whole Dan Ashworth thing,
but
right?
there's more cons. There's more cons than pros from yesterday's game. Reem.
Definitely.
I could give you a hypothetical scenario, right? You run in a business, and you have this one guy who shows up to work early all the time. Early, 10 minutes before the office open, and he always leaves late. But he does jack shit at work. And after 5 months, HR calls you and say, what has this guy done? And the only pro you can give is that he came into work early. That don't feel right. That just don't feel right.
But I think it's more than just that. I agree totally that the cons outweigh the pros right now.
Correct.
But if we look at how the team has been performing since Amorim has taken charge, right? We have seen the attempt to play and adapt to his style. I think the issue is a mental one, and then in certain areas of the pitch, it's just a wrong fit,
Yeah.
But I think the players have been, they're trying the best to adapt to the style, and because it's good players, you would see moments where you could say, well, they might hire thinking and they might faster to receive, hey, but these fellas could actually play the game, and then the second half will happen. And that's why I get to
just to go back to something Simeon said earlier. Reem, who are the leaders in this team? And I know, and leaders does not mean by seniority or age. Who are the leaders in this team? Who? I don't know.
I don't know either, right? I mean, I know Bruno has talked plenty. It's true tantrums on the field, right? But I mean, to say leader in terms of leading by example, we do, but I don't know. GP?
Yeah. I think the lit actually kind of stepping up. I seen him being a little vocal. Maybe not as commanding as I would like him to be, as kind of our main defender when you play in that central position. I see the person as kind of the main defender. Um, my thing is the first half you were seeing, because we were talking, remember I was telling you, you're seeing the goal coming. But the way we were playing, you could see that it was building towards something. I think that's what's so disappointing with how the game turned out. And for me, what was a major disappointment too is like a question what these fellas made of, because you come on a day to pay tribute to somebody who is a stalwart in Manchester United. Any other club, I don't know who the lady in front is. Manchester United, everybody know Cat. Everybody know Lady Cat. Everybody. From ever since. Lady passed away. I came to pay tribute to the woman. I was like, these fellas, what are they made of? What are they made of? Like, come out there and play for this now. Come out there and show. Because this is playing for Manchester United. To put out your best performance for somebody who served the club for 50 something years. This is a tribute to get licks from Nottingham Forest. That is how we pay tribute to this woman who gave 56 years of her life to the club. So that was something for me that was bothering me watching the game. It was like, what are the fellas made of? Because to me, this is something that should make you motivate you to come out and give that little extra. And then when you're watching them on the field and you're thinking, we doing the subs, no impact in the game. And I think
for a second
based on
game
what
in a
Phil,
row.
yeah, based on what you're saying, Phil, with the defense to midfield seems sorted. I think the problem with the forward line, not necessarily the Rasmus or the Zuxi on top of it, but you see the two tens that we're trying to force right now,
Yeah, true.
Nacho and
Because
Rashford, not meant for that position. They are square pegs and round holes in that position because Garnacho does not know how to play in those spaces. So it's not making sense. And that is why I call in for the Ahmad and Bruno up there. And if you have to make the subs, it's like a mount first and a different type of game plan like it was with Everton,
boy,
where
JP,
you
JP,
have
JP, JP,
Rashford.
JP, I'm not gonna lie. I can be honest with you. I do not know what Mason Mount brings to this team, boy.
No, I don't know. I don't know either. I
I
still
don't
But
know.
waiting
but
to
but
see.
I agree he's perhaps a better fit than the Rashford Garnacho type player.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
You know,
But big Phil and JP, like that's my issue with this team, and I think that's why I watched that game yesterday. I was glad that RMC, Mount was supposed to be the replacement for Bruno. So when you finally get tired of Bruno and you bring Mount on and you get nothing, you know how you go feel. I mean, you go feel. How much you spend for Mount? How much you pay for Mount? I
60
forget
mil.
what you spent.
see, man.
The man wearing number 7 jersey, and you're a coach
He need
that
to
brave
take
enough
that.
to say, you know what, Bruno, sit down. You're playing okay, you're doing all right, but I need something different. And you bring out that man on who your club spent all its money on, and you get nothing. How you gonna feel, a coach? You look around and you say, boy, what options do I have? What tools did Ten Hag leave me, in the toolbox? And nothing you do, you look at players and I don't think he rates. I don't know what Ericsson playing, probably because he can't really get around like he needs to get around. I don't know why, but like when you look around and you can't find the tools that you need, it's a problem. I don't know if this fella get fired this morning because recruiting or I don't know what, but like if I was Amarim after that game, because I realized this game he really wanted. I mean, he wanted to win every game. But this game, he looked extra motivated, extra something about that the game yesterday. He looked like he really wanted to win that game yesterday. And I think he really, I think it hit different yesterday when he realized there was nothing in the cupboard, to beat a Forest side that we really should have been up for. So that's why I'm glad yesterday happened. I think yesterday he kind of see what we've been seeing, what Ten Hag should have seen in his first 2 months here. Because Ten Hag didn't really change his lineup. He can't play the same guys. This man tried. I remember in his first few weeks tried all kind of rotational people, and then and these few weeks he realized, hey, I really have no strong. I mean, I have Rasmus who's gonna do his best. I have Xerxes who ain't sure, where he's supposed to be at the time. What he doing. You have Garnacho who can hold on to the ball and want to score. That right for curler. You have Anthony who wants to score left foot curler. You have Ahmad who is great, but his finishing still needs work. Manu is good, and Manu played a lot better yesterday. Ugarte looked like he's getting better. I mean, that's promising, but there isn't much Two, there isn't much Premier Premier League level players, starters in there. You know, you get to see Dallos who fatter to deceive. You know, he's getting spots, it look good, and then he ball in his stands. Next time you look, you know, we have too many of those kind of players and not enough quality. So I don't know if what happened this morning was a result of what happened yesterday, but you know, you look at a team like Chelsea, we make more money than Chelsea. We don't. I mean, we probably in spend. We spend it. I mean, like they did, but they were cutthroat. They buy. I mean, they used whatever money they had. They fire coaches left, right, and center until they get what they need. And I think Radcliffe, I think he had, I think he had enough. You know, I, I know Ineos. I mean, they might not be the best managers, the most, in cycling, they were good. But one thing about Ineos, they don't settle for mediocrity, and that's where we are at right now.
Good point, Simeon. And I just want to jump on something. I don't know if it's you touch it or JP touch in terms of the people Amorim choosing to play the number 10 role in the team, right? Because when you say, for me, when you talk about the number 10, I looking at somebody with a little more guile. They may not be an athlete, they may not be the quickest person, but up here, the miles ahead. That the kind of player I think and when I talk about a number 10.
Yeah.
But when I look at the players Amorim putting in that role, or I think it's just a matter of lack of options or he's seeing a different profile because Simeon made the point, Ericsson there, why you're not using Ericsson in the 10, right? He may not be the quickest player, but he up here quick. Meno could possibly play the number 10 as well. We never see Mason in the number 10. Menu, sorry. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You have like Ahmad there. We keep seeing Ahmad. Now Ahmad doing himself. I don't know if he doing himself an injustice by playing so good at the wing back that he might never see a place in the 10. But it's just considering whether we seeing the type of 10 different from the manager. What are your thoughts on that is?
The type of 10?
Yeah, in terms of the profile.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of sporting team, and to me, Trincao is one of their 10s.
But Trincao don't play wing back for them? Or he plays in the 10?
Trincao is like a 10, I think. The wing back on that side is the
he plays he plays Gael Carrez and Trincao behind him. Okay.
Yeah, I think Trincao is one of the 10s, and to me, he was never really like a winger. He was like a 10. So I know.
Well, he was a winger. He was a winger. He was a winger at Barcelona, and it was Wolves, I think.
Wolves. Yeah, but he was never like he's more like a Sancho winger, and I think as much as I hate to say it, Sancho would have actually been a better fit in this 10 role. Because I don't know if I remember, I always used to say I feel like Sancho better playing in that position as a 10 as opposed to outright in this United team. So now we actually have a manager where a coach where Sancho might actually be a good fit based on his profile. With his footwork, that small goal football he like to play would have worked real good to get the passes to Hoyland now. So I think to me that's the type of player I want to see in that position. I do trying to fit Garnacho there. It not working. I think so far the player suffering the most in the system is Garnacho. I don't know if anybody's seen anybody else who suffering the most, but to me,
definitely.
I would say Garnacho.
Yeah.
His impact in games has gone totally down because he not get any room to come from out wide and make the runs that he accustomed making a million times a game and then scoring. You see, we've seen him doing it now, but he doing it a lot less now, and that's why he not seen the kind of conversion that we were seeing before. So he to me is suffering the most. I think Rashford still have a little more in him where he could still be almost like a second nine playing with the person when he play in that 10 role. I don't know if it's because he gets experience playing as the striker that he seemed to be handling it a little better. Not much better, but a little better. I think the best was when he did it with Xerxes. And it's because Xerxes wasn't really playing as an out and out nine. So Rashford had a little more license to go forward, further forward than him. So to me, I would still prefer see the names that you call him like Ahmad. And I thought this game with the players that coming back that we may have seen him try Ahmad further forward. So now it's making me wonder if he even thinking about Ahmad in that way. And then that bringing in the question as to how we fit in Mazwari into this team if Euro, Martinez, and Dillit is the back three going forward. And I would like to see all of your best players starting. And as Phil say, like we could rotate, but the Premier League, because this is what Chelsea doing. They have like a Premier League side. They have cup sides. So for the Premier League, I think our best 11 is what we should be putting forward and how you fit in Ahmad, Mazwari, Euro into a team. And we haven't seen Ahmad being tried in that 10 position yet. So to me, I just want to see those things, yeah.
Yeah, and that is what a little bit confusing to me. Now I could bring down the leaving Maswari out yesterday to probably
Western.
Maswari been playing and
Yeah,
resting. I could
yeah.
understand that,
I
but
could
I would
take
like
that.
to
Yeah,
see, yeah, I would like to see, with Euro being back and as Martinez and the Lit, I want to see what you're gonna do, whether you're gonna put Maswari in the wing back position and give Ahmad his chance at the 10, at least try it. Because I tell you, I am
yeah,
every game I am seeing either Garnacho or Rashford in the
yeah,
10. So
yeah.
what kind of 10 you looking for? Right?
Mhm.
And I've been honest with you, those fellas, I don't think they are equipped technically to
They're not.
play at 10 unless
They're
you
not.
have some kind of thing in your system where there's not really 10 but they're playing there, but they're doing something different. I don't know, but I'm not seeing where these guys are effective in in what their skill sets supposed to be, because JP mentioned it. Garnacho and Rashford strive with space in behind. When we dominating the
Yeah,
ball, how much space you have to run into? All that passing and decision making is trash. So
exactly.
why are they there? You
Yeah,
understand?
I
Give
can
me
give you,
Ericsson. Give me Ericsson. Try Menu.
yeah,
You
Ericsson,
have
yeah.
Ahmad. These are the players that you have there who are intelligent players. So use
yeah,
them in the 10. Unless, and again, fellas, I said, unless I don't understand what he asking for his 10s to do. You know?
yeah, yeah,
Here's the thing, right? And this is look at the defensive midfield position. Most defensive midfielders can play a right back position as well too.
yeah,
Thomas Partey did it for Arsenal. Caicedo does it for Chelsea. Back in the day, Essien was doing it for Chelsea as well too. There are there are some positions that they aren't similar, but you just need to have a brain to play that position, right? Yeah, as Ree mentioned, Garnacho is not. He's tactically inept to play his own position, and I honestly would not call on him to play the number 10 position. At this moment, I'm willing to try any of the midfielders at that number 10, whether it be Ericsson, Mount, Menu, whoever. I'm willing to try them at that position. If it just comes that, let's say it's Bruno and Ericsson with Hoyland ahead of them, that will work and it gets us service to Hoyland and he scores, perfect. Stay with that.
yeah,
Stay with that. Right? Don't look to rotate the next game. Stay with that.
Because if I could just jump in, Phil, right? Look, like yesterday, Amarim's first substitution was to bring on Rashford, right? And then Rashford, he get the ball, he get a bounce back. So I'm putting he don't have the 10ness.
Yeah. Yeah.
He don't have that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're forced. So this is why the guys are asking. I mean, although don't get me wrong, I'm not against Amorim, I know he figuring it out. But
Yeah.
I mean, in figuring it out, I could see certain things and I could disagree with other things that you're doing. Because the first player off the bench was Rashford and Garnacho was there. You know? So why the first man off the bench wasn't like, you know what? Let me pawn a 10. I'll bring on Ericsson. Let me try Mount. You know? Let me switch Kobe and Bruno positions. Let me try to get hold of the football.
Yeah.
We lacking ideas. We lacking that kind of, creative spark in the final third. So players who have that kind of IQ, you need them high up the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Go through.
And
Sorry for cutting you.
that's why you're open to see now with Amarim and talking about we needing to hold the ball more. You want to see him playing more of the guys who could hold the ball. So if you have Ahmad, Kobe, Ericsson in a team, there's three players there already who improving and we seeing what Ugarte doing in the team now too. He's another one and you're seeing the vision that Ugarte have too. Ugarte is not just a bruiser again. The man passing is it on point, right? One player I think we need to talk about too is Dalo because it Dalo reaching to the point of where I'm starting to dislike him, and I don't think it's his fault because Dalo being forced to play on this left side, where even if you have an okay game, it's not an okay game we need from players. We need more than okay. So I thought yesterday again would be a good opportunity to give Malasia another 45 to start, put Dalo on the right, and push Ahmad further forward. To me, I honestly think Dalo has to be the backup for Maswari as the right wing back. We had to stop playing Dalo on the left because it's almost like we do undoing all the good that Dalo do, all the credit that Dalo build up over the last season and change. It's like it being undone now by forcing him on that left side there, where he clearly not comfortable because a lot of these city passes and things that he making to nobody. It coming when you're on the left. Dalo do be so crazy when you're on the right. It is a lot less errors from him. And I think what I want to see in the system too is the wing backs could be able to swing a ball inside one thing. And I do like American players there. But you see Robinson, I think Robinson is a good shout for this
Top
team
player. Yeah. He really decent boy.
because
He
he
really.
playing ball in the box right through to it. He's the highest crosser in the league right now. You know? He just put ball in the box right through, and I like that you have somebody on the stronger foot playing the wing back position because they're not looking to cut in like what Ahmad is doing most of the time. Yes, he could go outside too, but he's still looking to cut in. So I feel like it better where if a man bounce the ball wide, he could just whip it in one side, inside one time.
And
And
you
I like to
notice,
do that.
Dalo crosses with he weaker foot. It's always like a
It don't beat the first man.
no, not only that, Phil is a kind of cross, like more stronger foot I'll be able to weight across better, to weigh across better.
Yeah, yeah,
Dalo crosses never weighed properly with he weaker foot. It's always a bullet pass
right.
inside or it crossing short or it
It's a
going
hit. It's
way
a hit and
over.
hope. It's a hit and hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hit and hope, that is it.
And
It's
and one
a
thing,
hope.
one thing I realized in yesterday's game with the corners, when Bruno swinging in these corners, they never beating the first man, boy. I count them, never beating the first man. I say, well, boy.
Yeah.
When we just got comment from KL here, he's saying mainstays for me are Onana, Licha, the Lit, Mazwari, Ugarte, Amada. I don't know who else can be consistent starters.
Kobe.
And Kobe
Forget
Meno as
Kobe.
well. Yeah, we could add
Yeah,
Kobe to that.
yeah, I'd copy to that as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I are willing to try because boy, yes. They have me so frustrated, boy. Back to back losses for Amaran, boy. I don't know. Football, and I always say that football is played with up here, right? If you can't do the basics well, I wouldn't risk you in another position, right? That's why I'm so comfortable when Mazrari plays as either a right wing back, when he plays as a right centre back, or he plays as a left wing back as well. So, right, I'm so comfortable because I know he has the brain power to realize, okay, this is not my natural position. There's some things I can. There's some things that I can do, but there's some things I cannot do. Right? Obviously, with regards to playing the right wing back, well, let's start with things that are similar. Right? Playing a wing back position means that you're going to try to stop the opposition winger from cutting inside. That's one similar thing you got to do. Right? Now, if you're playing a right wing back, you're going to stop the opposite. You're going to try to show the opposition winger onto their left foot, if that makes sense, right? And then if you're on the left, you can try to show them on their right foot so they can send them down, send them down instead of them cutting them in, right? Yeah, because there's some differences, there's some similarities, right? But at the end of the day, in order to recognize those similarities and differences, you gotta know it. You gotta play with up here first, right? And there's just some players that I go back to Chelsea, and I hate doing this there, right? Before Cole Palmer was at Chelsea, he was a natural winger, right? But bear in mind, he was a great passer of the football, right? Lo and behold, he got put in the number 10. Why? Because he's a great passer of the football, right? Garnacho can't pass the football. He can't. He's too selfish, one. And two, it's always like either back or it's either going for goal and keeper just saves it or holds on to it, right? So why would we put Garnacho in a number 10 position when he's not even good at his job in the first place, right? Think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you were cut out. We lied by judgment. Um, Simeon had mentioned it before, right? And as I know Amarim said that he has to win time, right? But I think like these results, the negative ones, is like a blessing in disguise for Amarim.
Well, players getting exposed, so
Yeah.
Yeah, because for me, I kind of agree with him coming in now. I mean, ideally, I would have preferred Amarim coming last window, last thing, right? So at least by now some of these players may not have been here. But what I do appreciate about bringing him in now rather than in the summer is that he have this. I mean, he know this season is a free hit for him.
Yeah.
Yes, we would want European qualification. We don't want to drop the bar because it's your first season and the circumstances are a little bit, you know, rough on you. But I still think he could treat this in a way where he learning his players so that come summer nobody gonna fool him. Right? He could afford to drop the axe and say, hey, this fella not going to work. That fella not going to work. This one not going to work. So this is what I need. I try coaching them for 6 months, for 4 or 5 months, and I realize them fellas uncoachable. So if all they want me to succeed here, X, Y, and Z had to pump. You know what I'm saying? And earlier that ball had a back here, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear nothing about no tight transfer kitty, because you sending that man back to war for a second season with Xerxes and Hoyland. All of them man get ball at all. Phil, you're muted.
the season ends in May, right? Or April.
Yeah.
I think
May.
by the first in May, right? Okay. After coaching these guys for 4 or 5 months, I think by April, he should be telling some of these players, you're not going to be part of my team come next season. You have to say that. You have to say in April, you, and you, I could see you part of my team next season because you actually not only do you listen to me and you want to play my system, but you have some footballing brain. Then he's going to point to that clown over there, that criminal over there, that joker over there, that muppet over there, and say, look, I'm sorry, guys, but during the last 4 or 5 months, I've seen you've been trying and you have not been listening. You are not going to be part, I repeat, you are not going to be part of my team in the 2025-2026 season. It is best you talk with your agent and start to part ways. If you don't want to do that, prepare to hold some bench in the upcoming season. And you will only get play if the main 2 or 3 starters are injured or suspended.
But let me play devil's advocate, right? I'll know why it stands. Sell, right? But let me just play devil's advocate. Simeon, I can't play on this spot here, right?
But wait, you can't say you want to play devil's advocate and put Simeon on your spot.
No. But hear my pitch, right?
Okay.
I want them fellas going, but Amorim saying in terms of it has been difficult because of how the games are for him to really work with these guys. So what we're seeing right now is board work, videos,
More
and then classroom thing. We ain't seeing no sort of work on the pitch because he cannot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So do you think that we making a big scene for nothing and these fellas could get coached into playing what Amorim want them to do? Because he did say what Phil. No, but he did say against the Arsenal in the Arsenal game. He said he hasn't been able to work with the attacking, players in terms of, patterns and routines. They haven't been able to do that on the pitch. So he kind of wants to be patient with them boys and them. Right? So the question is, do you think, if Amorim have more time on the pitch with these guys, if we would see a difference, or is it that, hey, dog, don't go through that, get in the players?
Before you last him, hey, give me 15 seconds. Put on your timer. You can tell that there are some players since the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer days and even Jose Mourinho days are not coachable, and they will never listen to whoever coach. They will be teachers' pet or managers' pet, and that's all they will be. My 15 seconds are up. Good.
No, I mean what Phil said. I mean, you could see. I mean, you gotta go to routines, tactics to see that when players don't do the right thing. If you don't do the obviously right thing, if you don't pass the ball when you're supposed to, or lay the ball off, if you can't put the ball in an open net, if you can't, don't know what the goal post is, like simple things, but and you see a nice word like time. If you sit down, like, I used to work on Saturdays, sometimes Sundays. I can't get to watch all the games. I watch all the games now. You see quality in the Premier League. You see quality not just, of, the Arsenals, the Cities. All these teams, the Bournemouths, the Brightons. You have that kind of time. How long Ashford get? How long you get? Talk about time to train these guys, how to pass do a 5-yard pass, how to do a simple way. I mean, you have that kind of time. Why? I was watching the games. I wonder why. Was it the Bournemouth? Their striker, I forgot who his name was. Is it Bournemouth?
Ivan Nielsen?
Nah, it's Bournemouth or what's the other one?
Brighton, João Pedro?
Well, he good. I mean, he good. But like, you watch all these teams who shouldn't be in our league, and then you watch their strikers, how they're playing, and you wonder why our strikers can't do those simple things. Hold the ball up, make a simple move, dribble past one person, and get a nice space and shoot. Like, we don't have time to teach that. And then you wonder why we have two developmental, number nines. You wonder why we do that? Because we have that kind of time. Amrim do have that kind of time. So you talk about, if he's gonna wait. I mean, unless has Rasmus or Xerxes shown you anything to make you believe that there could be uh, a Manchester United type striker? Talk about a Rooney, a Berbatov, New York, anything.
You know what Rasmus did for Trinidad Carnival. If you don't get it, if people in the comments don't get it, watch how Rasmus plays. He always backing up, always backing up,
I
always
mean,
backing up, always backing up into the center back. My man good for Trinidad Carnival, Crop Over, Notting Hill Carnival, Miami Carnival. I done talking. I'm muting my mic.
I mean, the man is play hard. The man is play hard, and it's admirable. I like that, but the levels, your Manchester United, we have no levels to our strikers. When I watch a team striker like Wood, what's he got? Wood, right? If he watches games and he watches his movements, how he hold the ball up, how he pass the ball, dangerous. Every time he touch the ball, he see the skill, and we don't have time to teach these fellas. And you only take time to teach people if they show some kind of promise, And I ain't seeing that from Erasmus to be a star striker or Xerxes, who he ain't giving us really much options.
But have we done enough for these strikers to even properly assess them? Because the other names you're calling for other teams, it's not just because of what these strikers do. Now we've seen what they could do. The teams actually playing for their strikers. Then this team don't play for the strikers. Look when we play for the strikers, we're seeing that Rasmus could get in the box. I mean, Rasmus hold up play is trash, and he's fall too
But
easy for big
JP, that's
players.
a basic thing. That's
No, it's
basic
a basic,
thing.
but I think it's something he could learn because Rasmus have size. And the thing is, I was Zuxi when Zuxi came on. Zuxi was actually doing a much better job holding up the ball because he was seeing him putting the ball in front of him, which
Yeah.
Rasmus do. Somehow the ball is always end up between Rasmus' leg, and then he's fall down. But Zuxi was actually putting the ball in front of him and shielding. And I
Yeah.
thinking, but Rasmus is a big guy. Why he can't put the ball in front of him and shield it? He always falling. So I think that's something he could learn. That's something he could learn.
But
Because other
but
than
J-
that, we see things that he has done. Because the thing is, what we have to look at too, Simeon, this club don't have money to go and spend on no set of players. So I think in certain areas, they will look at certain areas and say, you know what, will I work with this for now? And other areas, I feel because we need a left wing back. We need a left wing back, and I think it's very possible that players like if it don't work out, players like Rashford, players like Garnacho may have to move on because if the style of how this manager playing changes so much, and we it continues that we seeing that these fellas now working out in the team, then we have to shut them off. So that's the kind of positions that we might actually be looking. We need a next central defensive midfielder because when Ugarte are playing, who taking that position? They don't have nobody to solidify there. Casemiro had to go, Ericsson leaving. So that's the kind of areas that I think that the money will actually spend in the coming windows. So for Rasmus and Xerxes, especially Xerxes, who will now buy, and there's an Ineos buy on top of that, I think he will be afforded more time in this team. So I honestly think that classroom, it's a lot easier to impart what you want to do defensive and midfield. That final third is always something you have to work more on the training ground with. So I think we have some players in there because the names I call who I think will be harder to coach into the system is Rashford and Garnacho. Honestly, other than that, I think most of the players there coachable and could learn. I not even think about men like Lindelof and them, because as far as I concern, them so non-existent. But for who we see so far, I honestly think the hardest ones to coach into the system is Rashford and Garnacho.
Yeah, yeah. Um, really, I don't care saying all the Sancho haters hold that. All right. Cohen, Sam on the inside, good night to you, man. Thanks for joining me. Saying our team is in shambles right now from management come down. Saw what went on with Ashwood today. All right. Facing me. All right.
This man, this man,
Boy, this man's so shameless, boy. Yeah, this man has no shame, boy. Boy,
Anyway,
no shame, boy. Whatsoever.
anyway, just two more talking points before we wrap it up, guys. Right. I want to talk about Garnacho. Right. No, we talk about, you know, we're struggling to see the fit now, boy. You know, but I think it's no secret that he hasn't been good for a while. All right. And what is concerning, I don't know if you all saw it when he was subbed off yesterday. He sat on the staircase right by the substitute area, and his reactions wasn't looking too, you know. And then he went on social media and he liked a post, that was criticizing Martinez. And the thing about it, this is not the first time something like that happened with Garnacho when he was subbed, that his reaction, wasn't, encouraging. And then he went on liking posts about criticizing the then manager. All right. His decision to sub off Garnacho. You know, what going on with Garnacho? Is it that, we rating these players too quickly, that they're actually feeling that they're better than they are? You know, the fan base singing the Ronaldo song for Garnacho. Is it that we doing more harm than good with these young players? What's going on with Garnacho?
Ego is the level of Cristiano Ronaldo, but the player's level is that of an Aaron Lennon. Let's put it that way, right? I think the fan base has gaslighted this guy so much, has filled his ego. And the guy is what, 19, 20 years old and has achieved nothing. FA Cup, sure. But has not hit the heights of that of said ego, right? And you partially have to you find this fan base will either make you or break you, right? This fan base was gaslighting Garnacho, but then hey, look at a couple matches ago where Garnacho scored and he didn't even want to celebrate with the fan base, right? So Garnacho is the type of guy that needs to be humbled. Is Ruben Amorim the right manager to humble him? I can easily say yes, but humbling starts with putting him on the bench, at least, right? There are a few games where he has been on the bench, where he started on the bench. And I think when it comes time where Ruben Amorim has to decide which is his best starting 11, me personally, Garnacho cannot be part of that starting 11. He cannot, right? Because he does not excel at his best position. I don't think he'll excel in the number 10 position, right? But he has to be humbled, right? It's almost like the players who have signed these new 5-year contracts have just been playing shit since they signed these 5-year contracts, and Garnacho is one of them, right? Yeah, that's just my thoughts.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I put some lights on Ten Hag because initially Ten Hag came with his strong hand dealing with these players in a particular way. Garnacho was one of them in the preseason where he would have had to discipline. But then it started to get to where, as we know, if you're scoring, you're getting rewarded with playing. The hero had a play. So we were seeing it with Mark Tomini, and Garnacho was one of those players. So even when Garnacho's performances were not up to standard, but he scores a goal, he played in every game. And then we started to see coming on to the end of Ten Hag's tenure, although Ahmad was clearly the best winger in the team, he still was playing in a way to find a way for Garnacho to start every game. So I blame Ten Hag as well for feeding this ego and for not properly blooding the youth man into the team. He make him like integral part of the starting 11 as opposed to an integral part of the team. I think Garnacho wasn't ready to be that integral part of a starting 11 yet. He was an impact bench player who we needed to give time to get into the squad. And you see, we had a stupid thing we like to do with giving them players number 17, and he was vexed he wanted 7 and all them kind of dotishness. Stay with whatever number you come up with and do something and then change your number. Do something to earn these things, right? But we rewarding your square bicycle. You feel you as Cristiano, so we rewarding you for that. No, do what you have to do and then get rewarded. And for one, that is one thing I need to see from Amorim, where these young players, they're not being forced. And I think we saw it a little bit with Kobe, where he didn't rush him back. He didn't rush him back into the team. Kobe was on the bench for at least 2 games before he got a game again. And he didn't play whole game, one of them. So, I want to see that, where we don't have to force the young players in and especially the scrutiny that his club does be under. So every good thing Archer do is the biggest thing. He's Cristiano Ronaldo reincarnate. And then when he do something bad, is the world articles about how he flopping, and then he falling into that with the immaturity and liking things. So I think he need a serious humbling, and not even like humbling to the point of he come off the bench. I think he needs to sit down for at least 2-3 games straight to realize, hey, this team could play without you. Because he had his feeling, this team need me.
Yeah, and it's something that's even with the manager too, is the club reinforcing that too, because um you have the songs from the fans when the fans and the club reinforcing, because you have the songs
Yeah.
we expect the fella to feel, and he young,
But
you know.
see the fan base come up with Amarin songs. That Amarin said, "Cut it out. Don't sing no songs to me."
Exactly,
Yeah.
Love it.
exactly, exactly. Simeon, what are you saying?
I mean, it's the it's the ego, like you said, like Phil said, the ego, you know, and the ego with the lack of quality to back it up. You know, you can't in football. You just can't be one dimensional. You can't be, you know, be able to do one thing, and like his game has not evolved. I think Ten Hag was trying to, even Ten Hag was trying to get him to be more, you know, play more, but better defensively. I remember last year was a few times, Nagacho would come to get the ball and lose the ball in possession, and that has never really been fixed. Like that part of his game has never gotten better. His hold up play, his possession hasn't gotten better. So that's why I was quite surprised he started this amount of games for Amarim. So I'm kind of surprised about that. But you know, but I always had you want to like your players, you want to support your player, players, but it's all about Garnacho. that just screams me, like me. I'm going to make my name here. You know, he's one of the players. I feel like he's going to be here until he go to like Real Madrid or something. Like I just feel like this is not really, you know, the team and the team success is not really what he's here for. He's here to score and look good, you know, and you see it, in his choices on the field, and it just gets worse when you don't bench him, and you saw what he did when he found say, hey, you should pass, more. You see, kind of stinky brought up, you know. All you say is okay, I'll try better. He felt like, nah, who is you to tell me how to play my game? I mean, fair, you're a football player, but he has a second attitude. I mean, you look, like I said, if you watch that thing real time, when he pulled, he telling me if you get a boss and your boss say, hey, don't do that, take a break, don't do that. You go stamp off, and throw your glove down, you can pull a tantrum for your boss. Your boss tell you, hey, I just feel like that kind of show kind of lack of respect and also kind of, ego that I am more important, like who is you telling me I ain't good enough? I am gonna, I am, Alejandro Garnacho, you know. I just feel like you talk about players getting bigger than the badge. I just feel like he's a player who somehow feels he's bigger than the badge. I don't know how. And also I don't know how you could mistakenly like a post that's dissing Martinez, your teammate, and both teams. It's not just United, but Argentina too. Martinez, really? But you saw when Casemiro, like when Canacho was doing mess, and Casemiro and them yelled at him, how he kind of just brushed it off, like, I just feel like I don't know who telling him he untouchable, but that's how he feels.
You know, it interesting because it have so much similarities, with how Ronaldo was at that age and how Garnacho is now. But I'll tell you something. The difference between the two is that Ronaldo had Sir Alex Ferguson, right? And that man knew how to deal with players. He knew how to
Yeah.
manage egos.
So not only just
Also
that team under Sir Alex had
Correct.
so many leaders.
Correct. That is what I was coming to, Phil.
So many leaders.
Correct. So the team in itself was so different that Ronaldo used to get dealt with. You understand? So Ronaldo, even though Ronaldo within his head felt that he was the best, it had men like Rio and Vidic and Rooney who would have patted down. You understand what I'm saying? And Keane, his manager. But like this Garnacho fella want to, emulate Ronaldo, fine, whatever. But not to the extent where you feel, as Simeon said, that you bigger than the badge.
Yeah.
You could feel free to feel that Man United is your stepping stone to Real Madrid. But partner, you have to look at your game. And you can't be blaming other people when you on trash and you on shit. You know what I'm saying? And always going to social media when you get sub off, or always going to social media when you feel as though you need, to get encouraged by the fan base and all your fanboys. And liking posts criticizing other players. Here the guy serious talking to, and I agree. I think he need to watch some games from the sideline, and we'll be winning them games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway, guys, enough on Garnacho, right? We want to wrap it. Last thing. The news we talk about, we alluded to it through the pod today, all right? A couple of people in the comments mentioned it. Now, I just want to know, as far as you are concerned, this Ashwood sacking, does it create doubt in all your minds? That Ineos kind of don't know what they're doing. They run on demand for 5 months or 7 months or however. They pay Newcastle about $3 million, or they carry them to the court of arbitration of sports, all kind of thing. And then had to sack the man and pay him off. Where's
it
all
makes
thoughts on this?
it makes us look like a laughing stock because here we are. I want to say 7 or 8 months ago, going back and forth with Newcastle. We're talking about compensation. Then you're getting news that he's going on gardening leave, and while all this is happening, you're getting good feedback from different outlets about Dan Ashworth, how he was great at Brighton, and um, how it was Sir Jim that worked with him in previous years, and how he brought through a bunch of players at different. He's good at spotting talent. Let's put it that way. He spotted Jude. He spotted Phil Foden. Um, Also the likes of Matoma, Caicedo when they were at Brighton as well too, right? So you're getting. I don't want to say it's like gaslighting mode, but you as a United fan, you're excited because these are the credentials of Dan Ashworth, right? Um, then fast forward, you're telling yourself like, we have the well, what was the term coined for it? We have these 6 guys here now that we're built. It looks like Manchester United is going somewhere because we have these 6 guys. We got Jason Wilcox, we got Dan Ashworth, Omar Beretta, and who?
Braille's father, I think it was Braille's father.
Brailsford. Brailsford.
Ashworth.
Yeah, I call Ashworth already. There was like other. There's 2 or 3 other guys.
Vivel.
Right?
Vivel? Wasn't Vivel?
Vivelli.
That's the scout fellow or something, so.
Yeah, but he was
I
there
can't
for
remember.
he was in there
Okay.
for short term. Anyway, there was 4 or 5 guys that you saw that okay, well, you thought Sir Jim was going in the right direction, right? And then lo and behold, you heard this morning. Because when you sent that message to me this morning, Reem, I was in a deep sleep. I was like, what the hell Reem talking about? And it's only when I went I see a bunch of notifications on my phone. When you see club statement, the club has always got the flag, the corner post flag up, right? I said, "Oh Jesus!" And lo and behold, it looks like Dan Ashworth has. They say mutually agreed. I said, and we know we're not born yesterday. Nobody mutually agrees to leave after 5 months. Maybe mutually agree after like 2 or 3 years, but after 5 months, come on, we're not that stupid, right? But it makes us look like the laughing stock, and Newcastle fans laughing at us, and all rival fans laughing at us. Gardening leave, going back and forth for Newcastle. He can't make any decisions for Manchester United unless until the 20 million or 2 million, how much we paid for him is paid. And fast forward, the guy only lasted 5 months with us. And now my question is, what else are we in for as a shock as a Manchester United fan before this season comes to an end, right?
Um, I have a different perspective on it. Um, my take is it was decisive by the club. So yeah, we run him down. Yeah, we had to go through whatever hoops to get him because the guy came highly recommended. But when he reached in here to do the job, um, he was an influential part of been keeping Ten Hag at the club. He was his candidates to replace Ten Hag would have been Southgate or Eddie Howe. So when I hear those things, then it's like, well, okay, bye.
But
Because
are those rumors? Because I'm on your side, JP. If those
yeah,
are true, oh well then, so long, farewell,
well,
Avida
the
Zayn,
thing
right?
is, we may find out if it's true or not a lot later down the road. But to me, this is the kind of talk that I was seeing from different media outlets when I look up on the story. So, and the funny thing is, just last night I was telling Reem, I wanted to say it on the pod. If it is, I would have preferred we lose the FA Cup so that we could have get rid of Ten Hag one time to bring in Amarim. And then lo and behold, you find out that the reason we keep Ten Hag is because of Ashworth. So it's like if he was part of this and other people were opposed to it and they're saying from what I am seeing is they're saying he was kind of unhappy because he feeling like he not being heard and they're not taking his suggestions seriously and things like that. But when you come in and saying bring Eddie Howe or go for Southgate to come and manage Manchester United, then nobody want to take it seriously. So it's almost like probably like a friend thing he looking at because remember with Southgate is a friend thing now because he brought Southgate to the England setup. And then with Newcastle, he brought Eddie Howe to Newcastle. But what success you seen at Newcastle to say Eddie Howe will do better at Manchester United? What Southgate win with England? With what I would say was probably one of England's best generation of footballers in totality who could play together because before it was too much rivalry thing. What's Southgate do with those players? Nothing. He win nothing, reach finals and win nothing. So if these are the suggestions that he would have been putting forth for Manchester United, then we act decisively. We get rid of him early. We thought you were this. It turned out to not be that. Right out. Because you know what? People could laugh in a film. Because all of us laugh at Chelsea. And watch what's going on with Chelsea right now. Looking like a properly run club with a manager in charge who know how to manage his players. He could say what he wants about his players and nobody questioning it. He could chop and change how he wants and nobody questioning him. And you know what's happening? He getting results. So let people laugh. Let people laugh at it because I think at the end of the day, it's the right decision that they
Before Simeon jump in, I just want to get a comment here, right? Kevin Williams on the Insight, thanks for joining, man. He's saying he wanted Southgate or Howe, Eddie Howe, and was again signing Amorim. Radcliffe had issue with him not looking outside the box and only looking at who he already knew. All right. Kevin Assam also saying here we won the semi-finals with England. Oh Lord, good to see you.
I mean, I think it's noteworthy that Ashworth, he's English, right? You have Ratcliffe with English. So for the club, I think we get to a point where you gotta stop playing games. Like in years, like what all these results that keep piling up, they ain't stopping. The league tough. We can't break top 10. We gotta stop playing around. And when you at that point where the man keep you know I got to be careful because so much rumors, so much hearsay. But when when you get to this point, and you want to win, you know, you can't worry about be English. I go for English players, English coaches. You got to move from that. So if Ashworth didn't want to move from that you know that position, the club had to move. What I found interesting about you know the club statement was it was literally two sentences.
yeah.
It's more like thank you, bye bye. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
so I see that. I was like, I had to double check. I'm like, wow, it's literally two sentences they write for bye. So I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I don't know what I can't, you know, I can't assign all the blame to Ashworth. I don't know if he signed Xerxes. I don't know who he signed this summer. I don't know if if he was trying to keep Ten Hag. I don't know if he was trying to get Howard. I don't know. But when you have this team of people and one person can't work with that team and one person want to go, stick to one, you know, box of, English, players and coaches, you have to move on. Like I said, time is of the essence. We can't we can't worry about, feelings, and like you said about Chelsea. Chelsea ain't make no They didn't play when it comes to spending money. If they thought we would get their club better. We don't have the Glazers. We're not hear about the Glazers. You don't hear about them anymore. You have a man Ratcliffe who want to win. See what he want about it. He might know how to win, but he want to win. He's trying to get the best people and make things move forward. So once that it became apparent that what's going on with Ashford, he had to move. So, and we see this with clubs that are owned by people who want to win. So you might expect, they're making all kind of cuts all over the place. People, jobs getting cut. It's unfortunate that we wasted money on paying all coaches and and all director of football. It's bad, it's not good business. But at the same time, we're still moving ahead to try and make this club better. And at the end of the day, that's what we're all about.
Yeah. Points well made, fellas. Richard on the inside, good night, man. Thanks for joining here. And when we wrapping up, bro, Kevin saying here basically Dan was Brexit. Bet you with him calling the shots, Maguire was getting a new deal. Nightmares. Anyway, guys, I think points were well made on both sides, from Phil point and from JP and Simeon as well. We wait and see what other moves making by Ineos, and we hope that they're really seeking the best interest of the club, and just making mistakes and trying to cover it up and blame people. All right. So yeah, again, guys, let me just get Dwayne comment before we wrap it. Dwayne, good night, man. He's saying in a basic team, in a basic league, maybe that's come on, man.
Yeah, let's say read that.
Oh, okay.
I can't believe I get doing that time there, boy. Javid on the inside, Javid said liking Ineos decisiveness, Yeah, man, yeah. Anyway, so guys, we will be here again on it's Thursday. We playing who we playing Thursday?
Victoria Pleasant.
Yeah, that's a good team, A good team.
Yeah.
Our team technical, I'm good.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can see Amarimba. We can see. Anyway,
we got Man City away on the weekend, boys. So
judgment. All right. We'll see. So, Phil, Simeon, JP, it was nice, fellas. Even those in the comments, that came a day after, to still, talk about United, we do appreciate it, man. So don't forget to like and share. If you're we're also on YouTube, so you can go across there and subscribe. We do appreciate all the support, So, fellas, have a good night. See you on the next one. Blessings.
Mm-hmm.